Hi, my little babies. Welcome back to another episode of What the Smut Book Review. One of these days, I'm going to get like a crick in my neck from doing that. I already have neck issues, which give me migraines that I live with day in and day out, that are a living hell, that I don't tell you guys about. The things I do for you. I'm putting a brave face, but I want to die. Dramatic much, Candace? Hi. Welcome back to another episode of What's Smut Book Reviews. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Candace. I'm your host. Thank you so much. If you're new here, what just happened was a lot. And I'd like to say that it doesn't happen often, but that would be a lie. What you just saw is my default setting, and I'm sorry for that, but I also can't tell you that it won't happen again, because it probably will in about 30 seconds. So in today's video, kids, we are back on our JT Geissinger bullshit with the third book in her Queens and Monsters series, which is Savage Hearts. Okay. Oh, God, this book, you guys, I don't know. I don't know what this lady is doing to me. She's hurting me, but in like such a good way. She's hurting me so badly. It's gotten to the point now where I go ahead and order the trade paperback at the same time I start reading the book. Like whether it be on my Kindle with KU or whether it be on the audio, I just go ahead and buy the trade. I don't even need to finish it. I don't even need to start the book before I buy the physical book, because I already know that I've read enough that there's no way she's gonna write me a bad book. Do you know how many authors I can say that about? Like 4. Not a lot at all. She's done fucked me up, you guys. She's fucked me up bad. You know what else she's fucked up? My wallet. That's what she's fucked up. So yeah. So in today's video, we're gonna be talking about this precious baby right here. That's Malek. Malek is, oh God. I can't even, I literally can't. I can't even. On a scale of 1 to even, I can't. I can't. So, let me just give you guys the deeds. This book and all of the books in this series are free to read with KU, okay? There are currently 3 books out. The first book is Ruthless Creatures. The second book is Carnal Urges. And this is the third book, Savage Hearts. If you want to purchase this book for your Kindle, you can do so for the price of $4.99. If you would like to own this hunka burnin' love, don't know why I threw Elvis in there, you can get this trade paperback for $15.99. $15.99. Okay. These books are also all available in audio. The audiobooks for this series are some of the best audiobooks I've ever listened to in my life. Yeah, that's saying something. They are so well done, and the formatting is, oh my God. Within chapter by chapter, regardless of POV, the dialogue for the male parts are spoken by the male narrator, and the dialogue for the female parts are spoken by the female narrator. It's as if you're watching a movie in your head, because it's literally, they've spliced together the dialogue, narrator by narrator, line by line. Do you know how hard that is? Production value through the roof. Okay, so the audio, so good, so good. Cannot recommend enough. Okay, I'm gonna read you guys the blurb and then we'll break it down, because this book hit me in all my feels, y'all. Oh God, my feels. My feels. Okay, so she did this with the last book. I don't remember if she did it with Ruthless Creatures, because I don't remember if I had the paperback for Ruthless Creatures when I reviewed the book. I think it came after, and I had to just do my little with the picture. The back has like a little term, and then it says adjective, like savage adjective, right? 1, not domesticated, wild and untamed. 2, a brutal or vicious person. 3, Malek Antonov. Yeah, baby. Okay. He's a myth, a ghost, a legend. A Bratva assassin so feared, some won't even dare to speak his name. He comes in search of vengeance for the death of his brother, but what he finds instead is me. A girl he thinks is someone else, someone unrelated to the man who killed his brother, except I am. And when he finds out my true identity, he decides to take me as repayment for what he lost. Now I'm a little bird trapped in a cage, and the only way to survive is to make friends with the monster who captured me. Except friendship isn't what the monster had in mind. Okay, so I know. I know I do that. I do that every time. I'm sorry. I just get so fucking excited. I get so excited when I finish the blurb that I'm just like, yes. So the 2 main characters for this book. Serious. Be serious. The 2 main characters for this book are Malek and Riley. Riley is Sloane's little sister. If you remember, in Carnal Urges, Sloane is the main female character. Sloane has a little sister, Riley. They're estranged. They don't speak much. They really don't speak at all. They have nothing to do with each other. They have been estranged since their mother passed away. Their father is still alive, but ever since their mother passed away, they don't talk much. Now, Sloane is engaged-ish to Declan. Declan keeps proposing to her, and she keeps putting him off. But she knows eventually she's going to be married to him. She knows that eventually she's going to be married to him. So she wants to patch things up with Riley before that happens. She also knows that at some point, Riley is going to need to know that she's marrying into the mob. And that means that Riley subsequently will be basically family to the mob, right? So she calls Riley out of the blue. And she says, hey, it's me, your sister. Riley doesn't pick up the phone. Riley never picks up the phone. Riley doesn't own a cell phone. She has a landline with an answering machine. Riley is so outdated, it's ridiculous. Riley is, how should we say this? She's a freelance editor. She has always felt inferior to Sloane. Sloane, from the time that she lost all of her weight and became beauty queen gorgeous, she has made Riley feel less than. There was also an incident where Sloane basically slept with Riley's boyfriend, and she's salty about it. Okay. So Riley is your typical glasses wearing, nerdy, I prefer sweatpants over real clothing type person, right? She doesn't wear heels. Her hair is always a mess. She wears baggy clothes. She's tiny. She's petite. She looks like a little bird, like a little malnourished bird. But underneath all that, she's a very pretty girl. She doesn't know she's pretty, right? She's homely, okay? But she has a lot of insecurities, and a lot of that has to do with Sloane. So that's another reason why she doesn't talk to Sloane and why she's alienated herself from Sloane. So Sloane calls her and basically says, pick up the phone on her answering machine. Pick up. It's your sister. She's like, sister. No. Riley, I know you're home. You're screening your calls. I know you're there. Pick up the phone. She tells her to pick up the phone. And then she gets really quiet. And she gets super serious. And she's like, I need to talk to you. Pick up the phone. And immediately Riley thinks there's something wrong with their dad. So she picks up. And then Sloane reveals to her, I'm getting married. What? Sloane's getting married? Hooker, slut around Sloane, one night stand Sloane is getting married. To whom? So Sloane tells her, I want you to come out. I want you to fly out. We're sending a plane for you. Riley's like, you're sending a plane? You must be marrying some old rich geezer. And then it clues in, okay, she's gold digging. She's marrying an old rich guy to get his money. Okay, I know what this is. Cool. So she's like, fuck it. Okay, I'll go. So she gets on the plane, going to places unknown because they won't tell her where she's going. She gets picked up by Spider, if you remember Spider from the last book. They have a little, Riley and Spider have chemistry from the jump. She's the only woman to ever make him blush. And he has a crush on her from minute one. That crush intensifies throughout the book, to the point where at one point he fancies himself in love with her. And so he gets her on the plane. They land. She's like, where the fuck am I even? You're in Bermuda. What? Okay. So they get to the compound, because it's not a house, it's a compound. And she sees Sloane. And then she sees Declan, who's not old. I mean, he's older, but in a hot age gap kind of way. And he's not old, and he's not hideous or on his deathbed. He's fucking gorgeous. And she's thrown for a loop. She's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, the gold digging thing went out the window because your husband's not even close to death. So, I mean, your fiance is not even close to death. So, like, what's happening? So, she sees a lot of stuff. There's guards everywhere. It's a gated community. There's a lot of things going on that are pinging red flags for her. Until finally she corners Sloane, and she's like, "What's happening? Who is your fiance?" And Sloane basically tells her, "He's in the mob. He's in the Irish mob." And Riley is just like, "Okay." She doesn't bat an eye. "Okay. Can we get some food? I'm starving." And Sloane is like, "All right, let's get dressed. I'm going to do a makeover on you. We're going to go out to dinner." Riley's like, "Oh, fuck. All right, cool." So Sloane gives her a makeover, puts her in a nice dress and heels, and gives her a haircut, and tries to get her to wear contacts. She ain't wearing no contacts. She puts her glasses back on. Right, okay. While all this is happening, Malek, the main male character, Malek Antonov, who is an assassin, a secret, super secret Russian assassin for the Bratva, is camped out in a steeple of like a church or something directly across the street from the compound with a rifle, getting ready to assassinate Declan. He has seen Riley drive up, and he's getting ready to kill Declan when Riley gets out of the car. He's intrigued because immediately he thinks to himself, "Who is this girl?" And so he assumes that based on the way Declan behaves towards her, because he like comes and like picks her up and like tries to be super friendly with her, he assumes that she's a prostitute that they've bought for their own entertainment. That this must be a sick couple. They're sick. They've bought this little mousy girl to be their sick entertainment. And he feels bad for her. And he doesn't feel bad for anyone because he's literally dead inside. He's a walking machine for the Bratva. Malek, this particular mission is personal for Malek. He's not been sent there by the Pakan, which is the leader of the Russian mafia in Russia, like in Moscow. This mission is personal because Declan, if you remember in the second book, in Declan's book, he went on this mission and was basically killing off the heads of all of the syndicates around the United States over the span of 2 days. Malek's brother was one of those people that he killed. And that was Malek's only living relative and the only person that he was close to. So now he's bent on revenge. So he's there to kill Declan. And when he sees the girl, when he sees Riley, it gives him pause. He doesn't know why it gives him pause, but it does. So he doesn't shoot Declan right away. Later on, he sees Riley come out of the house looking much different, stunning, but still herself with her glasses on and etc., etc. And he follows them to the restaurant. She gets up to use the bathroom. And while she's washing her hands in front of the sink, she looks in the mirror and she sees this hulking, huge bearded, black-haired man wearing a thick wool overcoat behind her. He looks like a bear. And she's like, what the fuck? Who are you? And he gives her a banker's bag with $100,000 in cash and tells her to run. And she's like, what? And he's basically assumed that she's a prostitute, and he's freeing her from Declan's clutches and trying to give her a new life. And Spider has escorted her to the bathroom and is waiting outside. He hears voices and he calls through the door, are you okay? And she turns around and Malek is gone. She doesn't know what to do with the money. She's wearing a fucking tight ass dress. What's she gonna do with $100,000 worth of cash? So she asks Spider, can I borrow your jacket? And she doesn't tell him why. She's just like, I'm cold. Okay. He gives her his blazer. And around that time, they get a tip that something's going down and they have to leave. So nobody bats an eye as to why she's wearing his jacket. She hides the money in the jacket. They get back to the compound. Malek shows up again in the middle of the night in her bedroom. And they have a conversation. And she tells him, I'm not who you think I am, but I'm assuming you came back for your money. It's over there. You can take it back. I don't need your money. And he's like, I'm confused. And they have like a little sexual tension moment. It's very hot, right? So she falls asleep while he's there. And no, he disappears again. And when she wakes up, there's a white rose on the pillow next to her. And she's baffled, but she's also becoming a little bit infatuated with her mystery stranger guy, right? Her secret admirer, basically. And so over the course of the next few days, Declan and Sloane have left her there with Spider guarding her because they have had to go to Boston to handle some business. There's some things going down and they have to leave. They had to leave after the dinner. They didn't take Riley with them. It was safer for her to stay behind. So she stayed behind. She didn't like it, but she did, with Spider guarding her. So she's going stir crazy in the house. And she's like, if she tells Spider, if you don't get me the fuck out of here for at least a walk around somewhere or drive through town or something, I'm gonna do something drastic. I'm gonna sneak out. I'm gonna do something. He calls Declan and he's like, she's freaking out. So Spider comes back and tells her, let's go for a drive. She's like, fuck, thank you, God. He takes her into town. They go to this little bookstore. Malek shows up again while Spider's getting her a cup of coffee from like the little cafe and she's browsing the book aisles. Malek shows up again. So she reveals to him that she's going to be Declan's sister-in-law, that she's Sloane's sister, and Malek is furious. He looks at her with absolute disgust, and she hears Spider coming, and to save Malek, well, really to save Spider, because let's be honest, Malek is the scarier dude, she runs down the aisle before Spider can come around the corner. And she says, we gotta go, let's get the fuck out of here. And Spider immediately is like, okay. Like, he knows something's going down. He takes her cue and they run. She gets in the car and basically tells him, there's a guy that's met with me and came into my room the last night or the other night, and yada yada. And he looks like this, and his name is Malek. And Spider almost runs them off the road and starts freaking out. And immediately they board a plane to get out of Bermuda. Spider explains to her who Malek is, that he's essentially the most deadly assassin to ever walk the face of the planet. And that if he's there to kill Declan, they're fucked. So he gets her on a plane and they run. They go back to Boston. They land in Boston. And they go to a safe house that's literally like 3 sub-levels below the center of the earth. Like they're down in the basement level. And all this security and all of this high-tech whatever. And they assume, okay, we're safe. We're safe down here. No, you ain't safe, girl. He's a ghost. You ain't safe, girl. He shows up again. He gets in again in the middle of the night. And this time, he gets caught by Spider. There's a shooting. There's a shootout. And she takes a bullet for him. For Malek. From Spider's gun. And she gets shot in the abdomen. Like in the gut. And Kieran gets shot 3 times in the chest. Luckily, he survives, miraculously. She begs Malek not to kill Spider. He basically cold cocks him and knocks him out. And then Malek takes her and rushes her to like an emergency low-key Bratva type hospital where she undergoes like emergency surgery to save her life. They take out a kidney, her spleen, a bunch of her intestines. She loses a lot of shit and a bunch of blood and almost dies. And through the whole thing, he's basically telling the doctors, if she dies, you're all gonna die. And he doesn't understand why she took a bullet for him. And it baffles him. And even after he takes her back to his cabin in the woods, in the wilds of Russia. Because yes, after he gets her out of the hospital, he takes her on a plane all the way back to Russia, to a cabin in the woods where he lives. And he basically nurses her back to health himself. And he literally plays a nursemaid to her. And he over the course of this time, he still doesn't understand why she took a bullet for him. It baffles his mind because he doesn't have any experience with any emotions besides fear and pain and suffering and murder. And he doesn't understand self-sacrifice, and he doesn't get it. He doesn't understand. So he cooks for her. He changes her bandages. He bathes her. And this becomes a routine thing. Even after she's healed, he continues to bathe her. It's like their thing. He puts her in the tub. He washes her hair. And then he sponge bathes her entire body while murmuring to her in Russian, just conversation, telling her about his life, telling her nonsensical stuff, that she's beautiful, all of these things that she can't understand, that he's telling her in Russian, that he won't tell her in English because he doesn't know how to verbalize it in English, or because he's scared and he can't. And that becomes like a routine thing that they do. And he nurses her back to health, and at no point during this time does she ever ask to leave. And she never demands to talk to her sister or Declan. She never demands to be taken back to Boston. She never says, take me home. She just stays there with him. And that confuses the fuck out of him. And because he's confused, it makes him angry. Because he doesn't like being confused. So they do this back and forth thing where he gets mad at her. Why haven't you asked to go home? And she looks at him, you already know the answer to that. And then that just makes him more angry. And it's all so fucking adorable. It's ridiculous. And it reaches the point where she's completely healed. He teaches her how to shoot a gun so she can defend herself. And he leaves occasionally when he has to go for work. And he'll be gone for a day, and then he'll come back. Or he'll be gone for the day, and he'll come back at night. And then he leaves, and he's gone for a couple of days, and he comes back. And during that crucial time, they both realized that they're like magnets that can't be pulled away from each other. And they're like, she's like, please don't leave me again. And he's like, I won't. Next time I'll take you with me when I go into town. And by town, he means Moscow. And so by this time, they're in love with each other. So he gets called into Moscow for business. And around this time, she has found out that Spider has flown to Russia to look for her. Malek tells her this. Spider's in Moscow. And she's like, what? And he's like, he's here, he's looking for you. And she begs him, please don't hurt him. Please don't kill him. And he says, I did hurt him. I drugged him. I told him I'd give him 2 days to get out of Moscow, and he still hasn't left. He's being very stubborn. So she begs him, please don't kill him. And he basically, without saying he won't, because she asks him not to. But it's around this time that he gets called into Moscow for work. And he takes her with him. He has an apartment in the city. She goes there with him. They get a package with a dress and instructions from the Pecan for her to wear the dress to dinner and he wants them to come to dinner with him. Malek did not know that his boss knew that she even existed, much less that she was there with him. But apparently, the pecan knows everything that's happened, everything about her, and their relationship. And so immediate fear sets in. She gets dressed, they go to dinner. He's an older guy, and he seems scary at first. But of course, Riley being Riley, and being related to Sloane, the mouthy bitch that she is, she doesn't kowtow. She doesn't submit. She doesn't just like meekly whatever. And he likes that. And he likes her for him. And he tells him as much when they meet next. And it turns out that the pecan is a member of an elite group called the 13, which is an extremely exclusive team of behind the scenes. It's basically like a spy ring of spies that are in super important positions within mafia syndicates, political figures, all of these different places that are basically running governments behind the scenes, running crime syndicates behind the scenes. And it's like this whole big thing. And the pecan is dying. He has like inoperable cancer. And he wants Malek to take his place as the leader of the Russian mafia and as a member of the 13. And he tells Malek this. And that's like a, what the fuck? So, yeah. However, Malek knows that by taking that position, he would not be able to keep Riley. She would become a liability to him, and he would be putting her in too much danger. And so, for her own good, as selfless mafia men tend to do, he calls Spider, and he sets up a double kidnapping, a second kidnapping, where when she goes into the smaller town near the cabin, he allows Spider to be there to snatch her and take her back to Boston. And she fights him tooth and nail. It doesn't work. And he watches her go. And she's devastated because she doesn't want to go. She wants to stay with him in the cabin in the woods forever. She never had any intention of leaving, of going home. And he's miserable. Fucking miserable. And now she's fucking miserable. And Spider is like, I'm saving you. It's for your own good. You don't know what kind of person he is. And she's like, no, fuck you. You don't know him. I know him. And Spider is a wreck. Spider has lost weight. He has his beard is like, he hasn't shaved. He hasn't slept. He hasn't eaten. The guilt he feels for having shot her is immense. Not to mention the fact that he has fancied himself in love with her this entire book. And the fact that she loves someone else and wants to be with someone else, he's miserable. And so poor Spider. Feel so bad for him. I don't know why I keep saying Boston, because Declan is in New York. Declan and Sloan are in New York. So Spider takes her back to New York. And shortly after she gets back, she realizes that during the time that she was there, her birth control shot wore off. Or expired. It was only good for 3 months. And she had it for a while before she got there. And she was there for a hot minute. And she hasn't had a period since she got back. And now she's been sick and yada, yada, yada. And it turns out that she's pregnant. 6 or 7 weeks pregnant, I think. And so throw that monkey wrench in there. And she has no way of getting in touch with Malek. She doesn't have a phone number for him. She doesn't know where the cabin is. She doesn't have a location for how to get there. All she knows is roughly it was landing at Moscow airport and then driving in some direction for 2 hours, and then she doesn't know. So she starts mapping out where it could possibly be and all the routes that she could possibly take, because she plans on tracking him down and going to find him. While all of that was happening with her and Malek over there, Sloan finally said yes to Declan's proposal. And now they're getting married, literally right now. Like, he's not waiting. We're getting married like tomorrow. So she attends their wedding. Her and Nat are both walking Sloan down the aisle together. They mend fences, her and Sloan. They hash it out. It turns out that Sloan did not sleep with her boyfriend. It was another guy by the exact same name, or like the same first name. And this whole time she's been mistaken about her sister sleeping with her boyfriend. So she goes to the wedding. While she's at the wedding, she goes to the bathroom. While she's in the bathroom washing her hands, she looks in the mirror and there's a man standing behind her. A tall, muscly, bearded, black-haired man in a heavy woolen overcoat. And she's like, oh my God. And she loses it. And about that time, Spider bursts into the bathroom. And all hell breaks loose. And Spider holds him at gunpoint and basically drags him out into the middle of the wedding party, in the middle of the dance floor, and says, we're going to do this in front of everybody. And at that point, she reveals to Spider, you're not going to kill him. Because if you kill him, you'll be killing the father of my child. And now our families have blood ties together. This baby ties the Irish mob with the Bratva. And you're not going to kill him. And Spider just breaks down. And he drops the gun, obviously. And a few of the other guards come and like usher him away, and he's just heartbroken. And I literally felt so bad. And Malek looks at her and is like, "You're pregnant?" And she's like, "Yes." And he's elated. He's so happy. And he takes her back to Russia with him. And they live happily ever after. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Okay. Y'all. There is an epilogue between Declan and Spider, where Declan reveals that the Sicilians, the Italians, were very peeved off that Riley is getting married to the Brodva, when they were hoping that she would be married into, or that she could be possibly used to marry into the Italian family. They basically want in to the Irish mob somehow. They want to be folded in with the Irish mob. Typically, you would do that via marriage, right? So Declan reveals to Spider that the head of one of the 5 families, the Sicilian family, has a daughter. She can't be more than like 20 years old. And obviously they would want to marry her into the family somehow, but he doesn't have a son. And Spider goes, "Well, second command is almost as good as the son." And Declan's like, "What?" Spider's like, "What does she look like?" Keep in mind, by this time, Spider is dead inside. He's completely dejected because the one woman he thought he was in love with is in love with someone else. And he's heartbroken. And so he doesn't give 2 shits about being with anybody when it comes to actually being in love. At this point, he doesn't care what happens to him. If it helps his family, Declan and his family, then, he'll do whatever he needs to do. Is she at least cute? Show me a picture. Declan's like, "No, kid, like, you're being dumb." And he's like, "Show me the picture." So he turns the laptop around and he shows him the picture. And she's pretty. She's young, but she's pretty. And Spider stands up, heads to the door, and says, "Set it up. I'll do it." And that's the end of the book. And so we know that now book 4 will be Spider's book. And now he's going to be marrying a Sicilian mafia princess. I'm so excited. So yeah, the end. For the rating for this book, I gave it a 10. I fucking love this book. I liked this one probably as much as I like Declan and Sloane's book. And that's saying something because I fucking loved that book. Based on the banter alone, I love that book. But there was something about Malek. I don't know if it was just his intensity, his vulnerability. I don't know. It was just something about him. I can't put my finger on it. Something about him. He just got me in my, he got me. So yeah, I give this book a 10. I would highly recommend that you guys pick up this series. If you like mafia romance, you'll be hard pressed to find better. I mean, I could recommend 1 or 2 that are on par, but this is top-notch mafia romance. okay? If you enjoyed this video, if you like me and you like my channel, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. If you would like, you can follow me on social media. I have a members only Facebook group, an Instagram, and a Twitter devoted to this channel. I will link them all in the description box below, and I'll put a little banner here on the screen for you guys to see. And yeah, I think that's it. I thank you guys so much for sticking with me for another video, and I will see you guys in my next one. I love you so much. Bye. Okay, let's get into it, babies. Okay. Okay. Okie dokie, smelly okie. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's Brittany, bitch. What's wrong with me? Answer, a lot. A lot. I'm repping my Devil's Night Cove t-shirt. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know why I chose to wear it for this video, but why not? Why not? Okay, so let's just get into it because I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Bermuda. Okay. Let's do our intro, shall we? Shall we? There's so much fluff floating around this room that my nose is itching so fucking badly. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Okay, here we go. In 3. Commencing. In 3, 2, 1. 0. So, I'm going to read you guys the blurb. The blurb. What? Da na 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 na. Da na 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 na. What did I forget? Da na 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 na. Anything na 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 na. I'm surprised I didn't get cut off. 56 minutes, for fuck's sake. How am I going to review Sicko by Amo Jones? How? There's no fucking way, dude. Like, I barely survive reviews of books that are straightforward, much less books that have plot within plot within plot within plot. It's like fucking Bookception, dude.